Guided notes, laws of exponents. We're going to take notes as I do the video lesson, so make sure you have the paper guided notes in front of you and fill in the blank copy notes as I do the video lesson. So we're learning new unit on laws of exponents. Exponent means powers. So the first part is we're talking about powers and exponents. An expression of the form x is called a power. So please write power in the blank. And represents the product you obtain when x is used as a factor n times. The number x is the base. So the bottom number is called the base, and the number n is the exponent. So exponent means power. And when you do the base and the exponent on the calculator, for example, if I do 2 to the 4th power, you press 2 on the calculator, and you press this button right here, like the pointy button under clear, I believe, and then you hit 4. So this is the first one is your base, and then this is the power, and then you hit 4, and it's gonna, and if you hit enter, it's gonna give you 2 to the 4th power. So try that on the calculator. So the first, they're gonna talk about multiplication of laws of exponent. Basically, this is some of the rules when you multiply exponents. So the first rule is called product of powers. So if you have a highlighter, you can highlight this right here, product of powers. And when you do your homework, please use your notes. So if the product of powers is to multiply two powers that have the same base. So when you have same base, you're going to add. So everybody please write add in the blank. Add the exponents. And then you're going to multiply, please do the multiplication sign, the coefficient. So I'm going to give you an example. So if I have x to the 3rd power times x to the 5th power, okay, the x is the same base. So this means you have x times x times x. You have 3 x's. This means you have 5 of them, 5 x's. So how many x's do you have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer is 8. So you're actually counting. The shortcut is when you have same base, you just add 3 plus 5, which is 8. Because you are counting. There are 3, 5, altogether 8. So when you have a big number, instead of writing it out and count all of them, just use the shortcut. So another example, if I have 2 to the 2nd power times 2 to the 6th power, is 2 to the 8. You just have to add 2 plus 6, 8. Because this means 2 times 2. This means 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6 of them. So you're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I wrote that. So you have 6 of them. So you're basically counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So which is that? So when you have same base and you're multiplying, your shortcut is just to add the powers. Okay? So that's called product of powers. Same base, multiplication, just add the powers. Okay? So let's look at more examples on the bottom. So the first thing is just showing you when you have same base, a to the m, a to the n, you just add exponents. Okay? So when you have numbers, these are coefficients. You see that 3 and 5, you multiply them because you're doing multiplication. This is all multiplication. Okay? So when you have the coefficient, which means the number in front of the variable, you just multiply the numbers. So just do that first, so which is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. And then you combine like terms. So you look at x and x. So how many x's are there? There are 2 x's here. There are 3 x's here. So altogether 5 x's. So you just have to do x2, 2 plus 3, 5. You can just use a shortcut. And then after you do x, you do y. So the y is, you see that y, 1 y is here, 2 y's, 3 y's. So when you don't have any exponent, you just put a 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Just count. You're basically counting 1 y and then 2 y's, 3 y's. So that's the answer. Your answer is going to be expression for this. That's it. You're done. Okay? So let's try the next one. This one, this is all times. This is times, this is times. So you have 5x7, x6. So there's nothing in front of x, it's like a 1. So 5 times 1, you always multiply the numbers. That's 5. 5 times 1 is 5. And then you write x, and then 7 plus 6, 13. Just have to add the powers. You can only do this when the same base, like when you have xx. You can only combine same letters, okay? Next, you have 4 and negative 7. That's negative 28. Multiply. This is all multiplication. So numbers, you just multiply regularly. And then you look at A. A, and then you have A2. So if you have no power, just put a 1. Or automatically just put a 1. That means there's 1A and then 2 A's. That's 3 A's altogether. So you just add 1 plus 2, 3. So that's the shortcut. And then B, you have 6 and 3, which is 9. Just add, for B, you have B6, B3, so that's B9. And that's it. So you're done. So your answer is going to be expressions. Okay? Next one, we're going to do power of powers. That means you're going to have power, double. So what you're going to do is to find the power of power, you multiply. So please write, multiply the exponents. So basically, this is really simple. I'm going to ask you to write the example here. If I have 2 to the 3rd power, you're going to see parentheses around, and then another power, which is to the 2nd power. You see, you have power and power. One power, another power. So this means, okay, so if I have, for example, 6 to the 2nd power, this means 6 times 6, right? So if I have 2 to the 3rd to the 2nd power, that means I'm going to have 2 to the 3rd times 2 to the 3rd. You have 2 of these. This 2 means group of 2. Okay? So that's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. That's 2 to the 6. You can actually use a shortcut. 3 plus 3, 6. Now, instead of doing that, whenever you see power of power, like power and power, just multiply power. So 3 times 2 is 6. Okay? So that's what it means. So right here, a to the n power, and you see another power right outside of the parentheses, just have to multiply these two. So right here, the second example, you have 2 to the 5th to the 6th. All you have to do is multiply 5 and 6 and just write 30, and that's the answer. 5 times 6, 30. This means 2 to the 5, you have 6 of them. There are 6 of them, you know what I mean? So you're just adding, but it takes too long. So the shortcut is when you have power of power, just multiply them. Okay? Because adding and multiplication, same thing, you know. So this one is 2 to the 30 because you just have to multiply 5 and 6. And the next one, you have k, so keep the same base. Just do 5 times 9. It's power, which is 45. That's it. That's the answer. And look at the next one. Next one looks confusing. So we're going to do PEMDAS inside the parentheses first. So 2 to the 2nd power to the 3rd, just circle that. 2 times 3, 6. And then you have another 2. So you just have to multiply again. So that's 6 times 2, like that. So do inside the parentheses first. Do power, 2 times 3, which is 6. And then multiply that by 2. So that's the answer, 3 to the 12th power. Just leave it like that. So that's the second power rule. The next one is power of products. So to find the power of a product, find the power of each factor and multiply. So this is just like a distributive property. So I'll show you, okay? So right here, when you have A times B and outside you have one power like that, you're going to distribute to each. Okay, so let me show you with these examples. So you have negative 2, x, and y. There's 3 items, okay? And then you have big parentheses around them and have a 3rd power right here. So circle that and multiply to this, this, this. You distribute the powers. So right here, this means negative to the 3rd, x to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. So you just have to write that. But when you do the number part, this part right here, you put that in the calculator. Whenever you put it in the calculator, put it around parentheses. So on the calculator, press negative 2, parentheses, this pointy sign and the little 3. And this is going to give you negative 8. So try that on the calculator. Make sure you have the right sign, which is negative 8. So negative 2 to the third power is negative 8. And x to the third, y to the third. And that's it. Just distribute the power. That's the answer. Your answer is always an expression. This one, you just take circle 2, distribute to each item. So 4 to the second, a to the second, b to the second. So you're distributing. So that's 4 to the second is 4 times 4, 16. A to the second, b to the second. Done. Okay? So this is called power product. Okay? So circle that, distribute, distribute, distribute. So right here, 4 to the third. And look here, you have 2 and 3. So you're going to multiply these two. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then you have 5 times 3, which is 15. So I had powers already inside. Just have to multiply power. And then be sure to do the number part because you know how to do 4 to the third. 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. Please do not say 4 times. Do not do 4 times 3, 12. Okay, that's not correct. 4 to the third is 4, 4, 4, not 4 times 3. Okay, and then x to the 6, y to the 15. So you're done. So that's called power of products. So basically, just distribute, and when you have power and power, you just multiply. Okay, this is all multiplication. The last one is the easiest one. Zero exponents. Zero exponent, you're going to always have anything raised to the 0 power. The answer is going to be always 1. So right answer is always 1. It's really easy. So whenever you see 0 power, it's always 1. 2 to the 0 is 1. Whatever inside to the 0 power is 1. Whatever inside to the 0 power is 1. So everything is 1, 1, 1. That's the easiest one.